we struggle to continue living in our home in spite of this heavy pressure from the Israeli army about our home to force us to leave. But because the value of what is Rachel done to us, we continue living in our home for another 7 months because we believe Rachel spent her life, and we believe we are innocent and didn't anything against anybody, and we only hope in the life to save our home. So continue living, but they make a very intensive invasion in our neighborhood. They surround our home from all sides and start to make digging around 3 sides of our home. The depth has been from 5 to 7 meters under the establishment or basic construction of our home. And they hold us 3 days in our home while it was moving on us. You can imagine how it's bad when you feel your home may demolish on you and your wife and your children anytime. But because we are Palestinian, if we go outside the home, the tank will shoot us. So the 2 choices, staying in the home or going out, is very dangerous for us. In this campaign, they cut the water supply, the electricity supply, they demolish the sewerage, they cut the telephone line, they destroy many of the wall of our home, the windows, the doors. So at this moment, we can't continue living in this home. Plus that they demolish the road which have been going to the home and make it like hell to avoid anybody to move or walk in this street. So it was very bad day for us as we became homeless and refugees at that time. After another months, they came in another campaign and complete demolishing the home, and now it's became underground.
Khalid Nasrallah and his wife Samah, along with Cindy Corey, mother of Rachel Corey. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. We were speaking with them in Des Moines, Iowa. They were on a national speaking tour. Rachel Corey died on March 16, 2003. When we come back, a debate on the Gaza pullout. We'll be joined by the Director of Arab American Studies at the University of Michigan, Dearborn, and the head of the Zionist Organization of America. Stay with us. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Again, the latest news out of Gaza. Israeli troops have begun the forced evacuation of thousands of Jewish settlers. This comes after a deadline for them to leave expired last night. This operation is the culmination of Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon's disengagement plan from the Gaza Strip. Israeli security forces say in the last 24 hours they arrested 498 people. More than 450 have been released. Government eviction notices went into effect Monday, but settlers were given 48 hours to leave or be removed from all the 21 settlements in Gaza and 4 out of 120 in the West Bank. Many of Gaza's 8,500 settlers packed up trucks ahead of the Wednesday deadline to quit Gaza, but the army estimated about half the settler population will remain in defiance of the order. We're joined in our studio now by Rabab Abdulhadi, a Palestinian professor who is director of Middle East of Arab American Studies at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. We're also joined in the studio by Morton Klein, president of the Zionist Organization of America. It's based in New York. He lives in Philadelphia. Well, Morton Klein, let's begin with you. Your reaction to the pullout today?
Well, besides this being a human rights disaster, suppose Ariel Sharon were to remove there are 10,000 Arabs who live in Tel Aviv among 1 million Jews. If he had decided to remove those 10,000 Arabs, I think the world would be responding quite severely against this. But remarkably, of course, the 10,000 Arabs there don't need protection. They don't have to worry about their lives being harmed, as the Jews, of course, are always under threat by living near Arabs. But my biggest worry about this is that this clearly rewards terrorism. And as an American, and who was a supporter of the international war against radical Islamic terrorism, I am afraid that if you're rewarding terrorism in Gaza and Israel, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, and other terrorists see that if terrorism works there, it'll only encourage more terrorism against us, against the West, against Europe. So this is my biggest fear, why I'm against this policy.
Professor Abdulhadi.
I actually, I'm stunned by some of the mainstream media coverage and the way in which many supporters of the Israeli government's policies, including Mr. Klein here, the way that it's being portrayed, that if 10,000 Arabs or Palestinians were displaced. In 1948, close to 900,000, almost 1 million Palestinians were displaced. Ariel Sharon was the leader in Lebanon in 1982, and he had a hand complicitly and was found complicit by the Israeli government to have contributed to the massacre of Palestinians and Lebanese and other people in Sabra and Shatila. There have been a lot of displacements of Palestinians. I'm actually, I would like us to have some kind of a view of history, to sort of have a historical perspective and remember what are the various steps that have happened in terms of displacing Palestinians. One. The second point I'd like to make is this is the settlers, the Jewish settlers who are there illegally, in contradiction of all international laws and every single law, okay, and they're not supposed to be there in the first place. They should not have been there. The settlements should not have been planted. They should not have been able to live and thrive while they're living on stolen Palestinian land, sucking out the water which is very much needed from Palestinians and making lives. And I think this is a serious issue. And I think this is the way we need to look at it, is that 1% maybe of the historical wrong that has been done to Palestinians is being corrected. Only 1%.
Morton Klein.
Respond to that. First of all, in 1948, when Israel was reestablished on about 12% of original Palestine, that was to be split into an Arab state and a Jewish state. 6 Arab armies invaded Israel in 1948. That is why several 100,000 Arabs left their homes, because of that invasion to the new sovereign state of Israel. If they hadn't invaded that new state of Israel to destroy that state and murder the Jews who lived there, there would be no refugees, no Arabs would have left. And to say it's against international law is absolute nonsense. Please, let's try to stick to the truth here. Gaza was controlled by Egypt in 1948. Egypt captured this area. They controlled it from 48 to 67. This was Egyptian land that they held illegally, not recognized by the United Nations. So this was disputed land, not anyone's sovereign land. So when Israel went and captured in 67 in the defensive war, where Egypt, Jordan, and Syria attacked Israel, it was perfectly legal for them, under the United Nations rules, for them to build homes in that area.
Morton Klein, you've met with Ariel Sharon many times. Times. Why do you think he's doing this?
I asked him this question when I met with him at the Blair House, across the street from the White House, in early May. He told me what a tragedy this is.